Like Pharaoh was to Musa, he was the Pharaoh to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This man, a symbol of arrogance and cruelty, promised to destroy Islam and its prophet. With his power, family and wealth, he was one of the most important people in Mecca, but he would be remembered as the father of ignorance. His story is not just about one man, it is the battle between truth and falsehood. Why did Abu Jahl fight so hard? Was he truly unaware? His defeat at Badr and his pride that lasted until his final breath, the painful end of the Pharaoh of the Ummah, Abu Jahl, will surprise you. Now before you, the untold story of Abu Jahl, with details that most people do not know. Subscribe to the channel now so you don't miss these Islamic videos. Abu Jahl, whose real name was Amr bin Hisham bin al-Mughira, belonged to the Makhzum tribe, one of the most influential tribes of Mecca. The Makhzum tribe was one of the strongest and most respected branches of Quraysh and was responsible for Mecca's defense. Because of this, Abu Jahl was raised with leadership qualities from childhood. His exact birth date is unknown, but it is estimated that he was a few years older than Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His family was among the wealthiest and most powerful in Mecca. His father, Hisham bin al-Mughira, was a respected leader in Quraysh and a wealthy merchant. He sent and received goods across the Arabian Peninsula through trade caravans, accumulating great wealth. Abu Jahl grew up in luxury and comfort. He received the best education of his time, learned to read and write, and became skilled in poetry and public speaking. From a young age, he stood out for his intelligence, speaking ability, and charismatic personality. His influence in society allowed him to play an active role in Mecca's social and economic life. He acted as a mediator in tribal disputes and had a say in important decisions. For him, family honor and tribal reputation were the most important things. He played a significant role in Mecca's social and political affairs, shaping the future of the community. He was deeply attached to traditions and the beliefs of his ancestors. As a defender of idol worship, he believed that the religious and social structure of Mecca had to be preserved. The idols in the Kaaba were not just religious symbols, but also a source of Mecca's economic power. Pilgrims from different parts of the Arabian Peninsula visited the Kaaba, boosting the city's trade. Because of this, Abu Jahl saw any disruption of the existing order as unacceptable. He considered it his duty to protect the honor of the Kaaba and Mecca. In 610, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam began calling people to Islam after receiving revelations in the cave of Hira. The belief in one Allah, the rejection of idol worship, and the principles of social justice disturbed the Meccan leaders. Abu Jahl was one of the harshest opponents of this new religion. He believed that the spread of Islam would threaten his authority, family honor, and the balance of society. He also knew that his economic interests would be at risk. At first, he did not take the message of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam seriously, but as Islam quickly spread, especially among the youth, slaves, and women, he became worried. Because of this, he took various measures. He became the mastermind behind the persecution and oppression of Muslims. His plans included isolating Muslims from society, putting them in economic hardship, and even subjecting them to physical torture. Sumayyah bint Khayyat and Yasir bin Amir, who are considered the first martyrs of Islam, were among the first Muslims to suffer under Abu Jahl's oppression. This family, who had embraced Islam together, was subjected to severe torture to make them renounce their faith. Abu Jahl personally tortured Sumayyah, trying to force her to give up her belief. However, when she remained steadfast, he became enraged and martyred her with his spear. Yasir was also tortured and killed in a similar way. Their perseverance and patience became an example for other Muslims and were recorded in Islamic history with honor. Bilal al-Habasham was an Abyssinian slave who served under his master, Umayyah bin Khalaf. His acceptance of Islam angered Abu Jahl and the other Meccan leaders. Abu Jahl ordered severe torture to force Bilal to abandon his faith. Bilal was laid on the burning sand. Heavy stones were placed on his body, and he was left hungry and thirsty. However, he continued to shout, "Ahad, Ahad," declaring the oneness of Allah. This resistance became legendary among Muslims, and Bilal became one of the most important figures in Islam. Later, Hazrat Abu Bakr bought Bilal and set him free. Abu Jahl's enmity was not only against Muslims, he also directly attacked Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His goal was to destroy the Prophet's reputation among the people and stop his message. Once, while the Prophet was praying near the Kaaba, Abu Jahl and his friends threw a camel's stomach on him. This was one of the moments that tested the patience of Muslims. Hazrat Fatima, while cleaning the dirt off her father, could not hold back her tears. However, the Prophet remained patient and calm, prayed, and sought help from Allah. Abu Jahl insulted Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam many times, trying to humiliate him. He called him a magician, a poet, and a madman to make people see his message as worthless. However, the Prophet's honesty, morals, and trustworthiness were well known among the people. Many of Abu Jahl's efforts backfired, causing more people to accept Islam. Abu Jahl and other Quraysh leaders imposed a 3-year-long boycott against Muslims. During this period, known as Shib Abi Talib, Muslims and the family of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam were forced to live outside Mecca. Trade with them was forbidden and marriages were not allowed. Muslims suffered greatly, facing hunger and hardship. The cries of starving children could be heard in the streets of Mecca. Some even had to eat tree leaves to survive. But despite all the difficulties, they did not give up their faith. The boycott ended when some Meccans felt guilty and tore up the agreement. Abu Jahl's arrogance and stubbornness prevented him from seeing the truth. It is said that one night, while near the Kaaba, he listened to the Qur'an recited by Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he was deeply moved. He was amazed by the beauty and depth of the verses. However, because of his pride and position in society, he could not accept it. He once told his friends, "I know that what Muhammad says is true, but I cannot be equal to him." These inner conflicts only made him more hostile. Even after Muslims migrated to Madinah, Abu Jahl continued his hostility. The safety of trade caravans was now at risk. When there was a possibility that a caravan led by Abu Sufyan might be attacked by Muslims, Abu Jahl gathered the Meccan army and decided to go to war. Some Meccan leaders were hesitant about war, but Abu Jahl strongly insisted on fighting. He convinced others by saying that Muslims were a threat to Mecca and its trade routes. He also promised great wealth if they won the war. With this, the Meccan army set out for Badr. The Battle of Badr, which took place in 624, was a turning point in Islamic history. Abu Jahl participated as the commander of the Meccan army. Despite having a larger army, they were shocked by the Muslims' strategy and strong belief. Before the battle, Abu Jahl gave speeches to motivate his army and was confident of victory. However, two young men, Sa'd bin Mu'adh and Auf bin Harith, had heard of his oppression and vowed to kill him. After intense fighting, Abu Jahl was seriously wounded. After the battle, Hazrat Abdullah bin Mas'ud found him lying on the ground, injured. Abdullah bin Mas'ud said, "Abu Jahl, where is your arrogance now? Did Allah not bring you down?" Abu Jahl replied, "Who is greater than me? I only regret that the one killing me is someone as weak as you." These words show that his pride and arrogance remained until his last breath. Abdullah bin Mas'ud confirmed his death and declared it a great victory for Islam. Abu Jahl's death was a heavy blow to the Quraysh of Mecca. The loss of their leader weakened their morale and reduced their ability to stop the spread of Islam. For Muslims, this was a great victory and a source of motivation. The Battle of Badr played a major role in strengthening Islam and boosting the confidence of Muslims. Additionally, with the help of Allah, this battle showed how a small and weak group could achieve victory. Abu Jahl's family and relatives also played important roles in the fight against Islam. However, some of his family members later accepted Islam. His son, Ikrimah bin Abu Jahl, at first followed in his father's footsteps and fought against Islam. But after the conquest of Mecca, he became a Muslim and earned an important place in Islamic history. Unlike his father, Ikrimah was a sincere Muslim and made great contributions to Islam. He was martyred in the Battle of Yarmouk. His brother, Harith bin Hisham, was also against Islam in the beginning. But later, he too accepted Islam and helped spread the religion. The transformation within Abu Jahl's family was a sign of how Islam could enter hearts and change lives. Abu Jahl is remembered in Islamic history as a symbol of denial, oppression, and arrogance. His title, Abu Jahl, meaning father of ignorance, does not refer to a lack of knowledge, but to his stubbornness and refusal to accept the truth. Even though his real name was Amr bin Hisham, Muslims called him Abu Jahl to emphasize his attitude and character. In Islamic sources, his actions and behavior are frequently criticized as a warning for believers. Although his name is not directly mentioned in the Qur'an, there are references to arrogant and disbelieving individuals like him. In Surat Al-Alaq, a person who tries to stop others from praying is mentioned, and it is interpreted that this refers to Abu Jahl. Also, it is said that Surat Al-Falaq and Surat An-Nas teach Muslims to seek protection from people like him. The life of Abu Jahl is an example of how arrogance and pride can lead to destruction. Arrogance blinds a person to the truth and pushes them toward the wrong path. Abu Jahl knew the truth, but his pride prevented him from accepting it, which led to his downfall. Muslims remained firm in their faith, and their patience eventually brought them victory. Their resistance in difficult times was recorded in history with honor. Oppression and injustice are always destined to be defeated, and Abu Jahl's tyranny ended in his own loss. Blindly following traditions without questioning can prevent growth and progress. Instead of trying to understand a new religion and its teachings, Abu Jahl chose to fight against it. His story is not just about one person, but also reflects the struggles and transformations that societies go through during times of change. His stubbornness and arrogance made him one of the negative figures in history. However, this story serves as a lesson for Muslims, showing the importance of learning from the past. Today, the name Abu Jahl is remembered as an example of what not to follow. His story is a reminder to avoid repeating the mistakes of the past. Understanding this important figure in Islamic history helps us better grasp the struggles of that time and the challenges Muslims faced. His story also has parallels with similar events throughout human history. The desire for power, arrogance, and stubbornness can lead people down the wrong path. If you enjoyed our video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video. May Allah protect you.